Is it your testimony today that you personally witnessed President Joe Biden commit a crime?
You're about to see why an IQ-challenged individual like AOC should absolutely never ask a simple question.
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir? Specifically.
You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with. Corruption
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime.
RICO is not a crime. How many mafia bosses are sitting in prison as a result of RICO racketeering? Isn't RICO what they're charging Donald Trump with that in Fulton County, Georgia. So did you just exonerate President Trump?
RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is the
It's a category of crimes that you're then charged
You have charges.
A long 100.
You have charges. Sir, please
want me to name the exact statute under RICO?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir. I reclaim my
lawyers
time.
that went to law school.
I reclaim my time.
You guys
okay,
to
thank
define
you,
the
sir. I
statute.
reclaim my time.
And when you can't handle the truth, just do what Don Lemon used to do when he was a host over on CNN. Cut off the microphone so that you don't have to hear it. AOC is an absolute twit.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody to the top of the line.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you a notification of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching the Afternoon Drive. So Tony Bobulinski, former business associate of one crack-addicted Hunter Biden, has been really trying to tell his story now, going on 4 years, about the business dealings that he had with Hunter. Now, this is a guy who graduated from the Naval Academy at Annapolis, officer in the Navy, veteran, but got involved with the son of a senator / vice president, who himself was just a degenerate nothing, who got into these places like the Naval Academy because of who his dad was, not because he had any personal character or merit worthy of being there. And so he gets his hands into Bobulinski, corrupts this guy, and gets him to be part of the Biden crime family. And what was the crime? The brand, which is what Hunter Biden likes to refer to it as. He is selling the brand. Now, what is exactly the brand? Were all these countries just dying to give Hunter Biden money because he smoked crack and he could procure underage girls for sex trafficking? That's the Hunter brand. That's what Hunter brings to the table, and that's all he brings to the table. He's so stupid and careless. He makes pornos of himself with his dead brother's wife, likes to be in pornos with underage prostitutes, passed out on crack, loads up a laptop with this crapola, drops it off to get fixed, obviously forgot which computer place he took his laptop, if he even remembers taking it in, and the laptop comes forward right at the 9th hour of the 2020 election cycle. The CIA comes out to cover for Biden, their pick to be president, their installed resident of the United States, to basically say this is Russian disinformation. Didn't happen. Then when finally it became obvious that it did happen after Biden was installed into office, I never had any knowledge of what my son was doing in his business dealings. So we're supposed to believe that the whole time you and your son got together, all you ever talked about was what? Your stolen documents that you kept in the garage by your Corvette? Why were they there? Because you were writing a book? Or Hunter needed it to help his brand? Everybody knows what happened here. Everybody knows that Hunter was fleecing money out of places like Ukraine and receiving a salary through Burisma. Millions and millions of dollars. Not because Hunter was this great brain trust and could help them develop their company. No, nay. They were buying influence. They were paying for influence. And who was the influencer? Oh, that would be Joe Biden, who could actually go to Ukraine, get the attorney general that was looking into the criminality of Burisma fired so that the gravy train, the money train, could continue to roll, so that when Ukraine needed to launder money for their oligarch through a proxy war with Russia that they goaded Russia into by bombing Russian citizens within Ukraine. And Putin had tried the diplomacy, had tried the please don't do this. We have an accord in place that this should not be happening. But of course, then the United States, throwing more gas on the fire, says we'll bring NATO in there. And Russia's certainly not wanting NATO missiles right on their border, nor would we want Russian missiles in Mexico. By the way, we start talking about Russia invaded Ukraine. How many countries has the United States invaded in the last 10 years? Hint, it's more than Russia. Russia will not stop with Ukraine. They'll go for Poland. They'll go for... Look, I know that's projection because we certainly didn't stop with, Iraq. Truth hurt? The big guy was Joe Biden. It's now seen that he was in the room. There's testimony. He was in the room. But, he didn't really realize what the conversation is going on around. So he was a mental defective even then. See, you don't know how to circle the wagons and defend this guy because he's guilty. He's actually guilty. I know you're seething that, how is Donald Trump getting off the hook and getting... Because he's not guilty of the things you have accused him of. But Joe Biden is guilty of a high crime, a misdemeanor, selling out the United States for money. And all this money we're pumping into Ukraine is nothing more than money laundering and grift. Most of it is coming back to the United States to go into the pockets of the politicians and the powers that be that pushed all this into happening. I wonder how much is going into the brand's pocket. But AOC, like a twit, that's not a crime. That's not a crime. It's a high crime and misdemeanor. That's not a crime. And RICO is not a crime. And that little bop in her head like she's still a little 20-something in college and thinks all the boys want to sleep with her. Oh, wait, what's that? Yeah, she does think every guy wants to sleep with her. Trust me, honey, guys don't want to sleep with you. They don't even want to use the male appendage of the soy boy boyfriend, liberal flip-flopping, whiter than white bread horn dog that you are involved with. They don't want to use his appendage on themselves to get anywhere near you. You are that nasty. You are just a brainless twit. You're a liar. You have manipulated. You go to the border and take a picture of yourself in front of an empty parking lot and claim you're at the border wall watching people being detained in Trump cages. You are a fraud. You are a phony. You are a grifter. And you come against Tony Bobulinski? Democrats used to love whistleblowers, especially if they're blowing the whistle on Republicans, especially if they're blowing the whistle on things that Republican administrations have done, around the world. But now all of a sudden, that it's Joe Obama in the crosshairs, dead to rights. He sold influence for profit, using his idiot crack son as the mule. Are you going to go after that? No. You're going to send George Snuffleupagus out there to go after a U.S. Congresswoman who was the victim of rape as a teenager. How can you endorse Donald Trump, a man convicted of rape? Hey, George, he was not convicted of rape. It was a civil trial. Jean What's-Her-Name is a kookball lunatic liar. Nobody believes her story. She thinks rape is sexy. She told that to Anderson Cooper. Rape is sexy. But yet you grilled this poor congresswoman over and over that somehow she was betraying all rape victims because she was supporting a rapist. Hey, George, what about the guy you work for? What about the guy you have pumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into the Clinton Foundation for? Bill Clinton. At least 5 women that we know of have accused him of rape, and he's had to pay out money. We still have the clips of you in that movie, The War Room, threatening to destroy people's lives if they came against Bill Clinton with these moral allegations. Your partner in crime, James Carville, said you drag a $100 bill through a trailer park, somebody going to come out and try to take it. In other words, these women are all lying, and you help Hillary Clinton literally destroy the lives of people like Paula Jones. How dare you? How dare you? You vile vermin Democrats. Vile. Bobulinski coming forward. When was he in jail? I wonder why. Team Biden trying to intimidate him. You got Hunter walking around cocky. I'm not showing up for this subpoena. Can you imagine? Put yourself back when you were like in high school age. Did you ever have a kid in your school that you knew was just an absolute jackass, good-for-nothing jerk? And nothing ever really happened to him because of who his dad was? And you hate that guy? That's Hunter Biden. Can you imagine what an obnoxious prick he was in high school and college? And even now, just a vile, reprehensible, no redeeming quality of life whatsoever. And he just walks around like, you know who you can't say that about? Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka, Tiffany, the Baron. Gee, Donald Trump is so reprehensible and so vile, yet his kids, though I am sure that they lived their life in a way that they understood they were kids of privilege. It was Eric Trump who talked about, yeah, but Ivanka can drive a dump truck and a bulldozer. You know, that Donald Trump did actually instill some work ethic. There's words for this. We call them character. Character. There is a movie, and the name of it escapes me, and as soon as I turn this camera off, I will remember the name. But it's a movie about a teacher in a private school, and he's trying to help this young man develop some character and to learn. And his senatorial father climbs all over the teacher that's not your job. And this kid gets caught cheating. Years later, as a man, this young man reaches out to that same teacher and he wants a chance to prove that he's not that cheat anymore. And all he does is cheat again, to which the teacher, this time, doesn't let him slide. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Hunter is corrupt because he learned it from daddy. And by the way, George, when you're talking about rape and supporting candidates that rape, what about the credible rape allegation that came against Joe Biden and now the woman has to live out of country? I think her name was Tara Reid. What about the fact Joe Biden's daughter doesn't want to take a shower in the Biden household because daddy tries to join her in the shower when she was a teenager? And AOC isn't smart enough to understand that Bobulinski has laid out what happened here. We call this RICO racketeering. That Hunter Biden received money that then would get filtered out to himself, to Bobulinski, to Biden's brother, and to the big guy. That money was not paid because, they just like the Biden family. That money was paid that when the time came, they would expect Biden to use his weight and authority within the United States government to play out in Ukraine's favor. That's treason. And that is a high crime and a misdemeanor. And you trying to insinuate, it doesn't even rise to the level. Did you give that same speech to Adam Schiff when he was going after Donald Trump over nothing and made up Russian disinformation that he knew was a false narrative? You people are vile. You are reprehensible. And the only way I sleep at night is knowing there really is a God. And in the end, justice will be served.